Since the Mercedes is kind of finished, it'll probably be fairly slower progress because summertime and I got some other cool projects I want to work on. I'll keep updating as I get things done. But one of the projects I picked up that I'm hoping to work on this summer, so it's probably just going to sit here for a while, but it's a 1977 Taylor Day Cruiser. I believe it's a 21-foot boat. Trailer's in nice condition. It needs painted. The boat's in pretty good shape. I'll have to touch it up with some epoxy. Got a few little nicks in it. It needs new stringers. Luckily with these old jet boats, they're pretty simple. It's just two 2x6s there, and then it looks like 4x4s going all the way up to the front. I'll just gut the rest of this out. It's got good fuel tanks in it, so that's nice. It's got a Berkeley, oh, I'm gonna mess it up, so I don't know. Let's take a look. Looks like a 12 JE. For some reason I want to say 12 JEF. I don't really remember. It was the one with the clean out that's outside of the boat. And it does have the Jetivator on it, which is kind of like a trim nozzle. I think the Jetivator is a little outdated. Everybody uses a similar thing called a place setter. I may be wrong on some of these words. I'm really not a jet expert. The transom seems to be solid fiberglass, so that's good. Doesn't seem like it has any wood in it. So my plan over the winter is to block this thing up off the trailer in 3 spots. Start stripping it down and kind of rebuilding it. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with the motor just yet. Factory, it had a 427 Ford, I think a Ford in it. I guess it could be a Chevy, but I really want to say it was a Ford big block. And I've been wanting to play around with those Vortec 4200 inline 6 cylinders from the Trailblazers. The only problem is these pumps. The stock aluminum impeller is good for 500 horsepower, but only at like 5,000 RPM, which is probably going to be fairly difficult to do with a small displacement motor. And I don't really want to shell out another $1,000 for the stainless impeller for the higher RPM. So I may just put a, Gen 3, Gen 4 small block Chevy in it, like a 5.3, a 6.0, 6.2 with a turbo on it. I know that's been done a lot, but it does work, and a V8 always sounds really good. But you can see the hull's in pretty good shape. There's no damage to it. Definitely needs new instrumentation, and I'm sure it's going to need all new cables. This is one of the projects. My other toy is this 2000 Yamaha LS2000. It's a twin engine jet boat. It's got twin GP 1200 engines in it. I think each one's 135 horsepower. I just got done redoing this trailer, and that trailer over there was all rotted, so I fixed this one up, put new bunks on it, coated it with cold galvanizing paint. It's a galvanized trailer, but I just decided to put something extra on it as well. The boat's in really good shape. The interior is really nice. There's a small little seam starting to come apart on top the rear seat there, and I have the rear seat's just out of it right now because I was looking at the fuel tank. But this boat runs pretty good. It's not really so much a project as just a toy. And I guess I got the neighbor's dog barking at me. My shop is a disaster, but that's really going to be the first project I do, is clean everything up and reorganize it. It kind of got to be a mess over the winter doing vehicle repairs I really didn't want to be doing in the cold. This here is something I've been working on with my old YouTube channel, and I've moved a couple times, so it's been hard to get started on it. But now that I have my own shop and my own house and everything, this is a kind of a mess in here, like I said. It's hard to see it, but it's a 1966 Plymouth Belvedere. Was a, what are they called, a 273 or something, small block. It had a 318 in it with a 3-speed manual that somebody put a shifter on the floor and cut a giant hole in the floor. All the trim is actually really nice on the car. I've been trying to take care of it when I take it off because there's no dents in it. There was some rust. I'm working on cutting the floor out right now. Just the driver's foot area and the passengers is pretty thin, but there's no holes. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to tear it out yet or not. And my replacement floor pan there has some surface rust on it now because it's been sitting out. This is all epoxy primer. It has the, oh, what is it, the phosphate or something in it. I don't quite remember. Zinc or something in it, but it's epoxy primer. I cleaned all this up and sprayed it. I redid all the suspension, and then the inner fenders and the underside of the car just getting sprayed with U-POL Raptor bed liner over top of the epoxy. And I spray it out of an HVLP gun, so it's a real smooth finish. It's not very thick, so it's not like I put a rubberized undercoating on it, but it's just something a little extra to help protect it. I wouldn't say I'm trying to restore this car as much as clean all the rust out of it. Like here you can see a couple little spots that are really solid around it, but for now I've just left those holes. I may patch it, but like I said, I'm not trying to restore this car as much as just prevent it from rusting any further and fix it up a little bit and have some fun with it. These, as of right now, are not really worth a whole lot. And honestly, I'm really trying to get a 1966 Charger, or 67 as long as it has the full length console in it. But I don't have the seats for this car or the rear seats. I do have the door panels and the side panels there. So as of now, I'm just going to get it running and driving. I do have to replace this rear quarter back here, so that's not going to be fun. That's probably the biggest. The frame and everything underneath the car is really nice, but the rear quarter, specifically just on this side, is really bad for some reason. And that driver's floor pan was pretty gone. I plan on putting the fuel injection on this car. I may put the 318 back in it or grab a Magnum motor from a mid-90s Dodge product and put a turbocharger blowing through a throttle body injection unit. I do have this though it might be more than I can chew right now. It's a 5.7 Hemi out of a Dodge Magnum. The interesting thing about it is it's the all-wheel drive. There's the spot where the CV axles would go. And I do have the whole cradle and the control arms and everything, but I was looking it over and it doesn't look like it's going to be remotely straightforward to bolt that K-member into the 66. So my plan was to just use the motor, and I have a, probably hard to see, but I have a A833 4-speed transmission that came out of a Max Wedge car, like a 65 Max Wedge. So it should be pretty stout. Has these, I think they're called Bart wheels. Yeah, there's the sticker. Really cheap wheel, but for some reason I just love the way the black steel wheels look. It's got the little purple pinstripe around it. Looks pretty nice. So that's it for now. I don't have too much else to say. I'm gonna try to get the shop cleaned up and then start working on this car more. I really want to be able to drive this pretty shortly. I don't know if it's going to get done by winter. That's a pretty tall order, but we'll see. And then over winter, I would like to bring that Taylor Day Cruiser in here and start working on it and hopefully get it done for next season. Yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.